Hey Doc, wanted to ask you about the defensive adjustments against Luca tonight. You guys did a bit of trapping on the sidelines and above the arc. Wanted to ask what went into that decision and how you thought that went.
I thought it went well. I mean, we just overall the intensity defensively was so much more attentive. Through the series, we've made just a lot of game plan mistakes with our switching, with our trapping. We actually did trap them in games previous. It was just so poor, it was hard to notice. I thought Rex and Ty, Luke, both of them just did a terrific job, just game planning and mixing it up. We didn't just have one coverage, which I thought was important. I just thought we played harder and we played right and we played with a great spirit.
Next is Ohm.
Hey, Doc. Paul just said in the post-game interview that he was in a pretty dark place these last 3 games and having trouble adjusting to the environment of no fans in the game. I was wondering, did you notice that? Did you see any of that? And also, you said you would comment about the Jacob Blake situation, how you truly felt about it after the game.
Yeah, this is not a normal environment. Okay, it just isn't. But it's good. Like, the NBA has done a terrific job. But Lou made a great point. You lose a lot of games, and the game the other night was tough. Usually you go home to your family. You go home. Here you go back to your rooms, and you're with each other, and then you actually see the other teams. And it's just a strange thing, man. I tell you, it's just different. And I thought our guys are great, though. PG and I sat in my room after the game, and we just had a long talk, not all about basketball, really. Several players did it. Guys were knocking on his door. This team, we're growing still. You can see it. We've not had the normal time together like most teams. And so, things like that, they happen. And I thought our guys have just dropped all the players. As far as the other situation, it's just so sad. What stands out to me is just watching the Republican convention, and they're spewing this fear, right? Like, all you hear is Donald Trump and all of them talking about fear. We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. We're the ones that we're denied to live in certain communities. We've been hung. We've been shot. And all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back. And it's really so sad. I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. It's just really sad. We got to do better. But we got to demand better. It's funny. We protest and they send riot guards, right? They send people in riot outfits. They go to Michigan with guns and they're spitting on cops and nothing happens. The training has to change in the police force. The unions have to be taken down in the police force. My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. I didn't want to talk about it before the game because it's so hard. Just keep watching it. That video, if you watch that video, you don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear We're the ones that need to be scared. We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? It's just ridiculous. And it just keeps going. There's no charges. Breonna Taylor, no charges, nothing. All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution. That's all we're asking for everybody, for everyone. Thank you. You want to get back to basketball?
Can I ask
Yeah.
real quick? I mean, there's been players in the Raptors and the Celtics sort of weighing, do you play, not play? You said how
I think
tricky it is to be a coach.
One thing I'd say, I think you always play. You know why? We can fight for justice, but we still should do our jobs. I really believe that. Because doing our jobs, people are seeing excellence from Americans, black Americans and white Americans. So I would still do my job. That's just my opinion. But if my players told me no, it'd be no. I can tell you that. It's when you watch that video, it's sickening. It's sickening. You know, his kids were in the car. How do they ever get that out of their mind? How are those kids ever normal?
You've been in the spot deciding boycott, not boycott. What would your message be to players who are in this situation weighing these kinds of questions?
My message is go after your dreams. You don't allow anything to take you away from your dreams. Doing the Donald Sterling thing, you know, Matt Barnes and Chris Paul, DJ and Blake and all those guys, JJ Redick, they all pulled together. And at the end of the day, the one thing we decided when we were little kids and we were in the backyard by ourselves and we had these dreams about winning the championship, Donald Sterling was not in our dreams, and neither were these cops. And so they're not going to take anybody. They're not taking our dreams away. All right. And so that would be my message.
I have a few questions here left on Zoom. We're going to go to Tomer.
Doc, it feels a bit wrong to go back to basketball, but
No, it's what we do. Like, I should be talking about basketball. And so it's what we do.
Did you feel like the team, connected more emotionally? You talked about it being emotionally weak last game. Did you feel like the team really connected on that level today?
Yeah, we did. We did all things well today. Tomorrow, we just played together. We played hard. We were aggressive. And more importantly, like, it is a human game and you make mistakes. But we just had so few game plan mistakes that I thought it was awesome.
Next is Miriam. Oh, sorry. Next is Miriam.
Hey, Doc. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and congrats on the win. Obviously, you said you want to play and obviously excellence. There was a lot of excellence today. But how hard is it for you to focus on game planning in the playoffs when you're, this troubling stuff is happening?
It's because we have to, our jobs we are basketball players, we're fathers, we're businessmen, and we should still be able to do our jobs. But it's hard sometimes. Today was hard. It really was for everybody, every team. But I still think, when we can't stop doing our jobs because it's what we do. And it allows us, honestly, 3 hours of solitude. It does. Once we're on stage, we can kind of get in our jobs and forget what's going on. So I think that's it.
Next is Dan.
Hi, Doc. Kind of along the solitude lines, I think Trez played 5 minutes in the first quarter or something like that. He might have only had 2 points, but the way you greeted him when he came off the court was a genuine, you seemed really happy with that stretch.
Yeah.
What did you like so much about that? And did you feel like he kind of finally looked a little bit sort of like himself?
Yeah, I told him I was proud of him because I think he had 2 points, right? But he made a difference. And I think, Trez is still young, right? And so when you come back, you're not in great shape. I think you put so much pressure on scoring that you forget who you are. And Trez is an energy player that can score points, that can do everything. And, you know, he just needed that. So I was just happy that he helped our team without scoring. And that's what I was telling him.
Cam?
Hey, Coach, I appreciate that passion, that energy that you just conveyed there. And I think that's what your players played with tonight that helped you guys to get that big win. I would like to ask you, Doc, if you could expound on when you had to first have that conversation with your son about driving, being safe, and kind of his dealing with the law that, as you mentioned, some other people don't have to have that conversation. Can you touch on that for a moment?
Yeah, basically when they get their driver's license, all of them, you know. And I have an adopted child. You just share with them, be careful, show your hands, be respectful. It's funny though, even through that sometimes you still get shot. So I don't know. It's just really tough.